Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Sheila Bila coming to you with another review of Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 9, Episode 16, Unbreakable Bond. All right, if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're returning, hey, how y'all doing? Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. The more you do like, the more I do go through the algorithm. The more people start to view my content on the road to 8,000 subscribers, 100 likes every single episode. And let's go ahead and get into this episode of Tyler Perry's Sistas. All right, so it starts off when remember Fatima had went over there to the sister circle and said that she demanded to talk to Andi. So when it opens up, Fatima said she was going to be at the bar. So she was at the bar waiting on Andi to come over. And Andi said, so, what is it? Why did you pretty much demand me to come over here? She was like, we need to talk. She said, am I going to lose my job? Am I going to get fired? And she was like, where did you get that from? She was like, well, your mom said that. Well, that's not her place to tell you that. Well, I want to know, am I going to lose my job? Am I going to get fired? Like, what's going on? And he said, well, do you think, can we talk about this later? She was like, no, I need to know. I want to talk about it now. So Andi said, no, that's not true. You're not going to lose your job. You're not going to get fired. Then she brings up, so why you didn't tell me that you saw Zach, that Zach saw you naked? She was like, well, it was only for a minute. It wasn't nothing. It was, she said, and Fatima said, well, Zach had already told me. He told me everything. But that's not the issue. The issue is that we supposed to be cool. Why didn't you tell me? And she was like, well, I was going to tell you, but the thing is, we were in a weird place. Like the relationship has been weird between them. And Fatima is saying, well, what is it? Like, what's weird? What's going on? And Andi said, well, I wanted you to tell me. So basically, it wasn't about the clients. It wasn't about her, trying to further her career, because Andi like pushed her into it. She said, well, I want you to be happy. I'm proud of you that you are doing these clients and all that stuff. But the deal was, she said she kind of felt insecure. And when it came to Karen and Fatima's relationship, because Karen had been calling Fatima. Karen was the first person to call Fatima in, those situations. And she said she kind of felt the type of way about it. And she said that she was happy that Karen and Fatima were in a great place, but it just made her feel weird about it or whatever. And but then she gave Fatima her kudos, saying like she's happy for her. She wants her to thrive. She wants her to, pursue her career and all that stuff. So, and then she also said, but at the same time, you were neglecting your work. Like, I don't know what was going on with you, but she's used to Fatima being on her game when it comes to the work. And Fatima said, that's my fault. I dropped the ball on that. And she blamed it on pregnancy brain. So, I mean, they got emotional, whatever. Andi did cry. I just couldn't focus on Andi's face. I mean, her face just looked overwhelmingly puffy. I don't know if it was her makeup or her lips or her fillers or whatever it was. She was just looking really puffy. Like her lips were looking extra big. Her cheeks was looking extra big. Her chin looked extra long. Her hair looked extra short. Like she just looked so weird to me in this scene. So nevertheless, they got over all of that. And then Fatima, told her they'll talk later. She gone over there to the sister circle so they can have the conversation. So when Andi gets back, the girl's like, so what y'all talk about? What y'all talk about? And Andi didn't give any information. She was like, it's just work stuff. And she was like, well, shoot, the way she came over here, she made it seem like it was like something big. Like, what was it? She was like, oh, it was just work stuff or whatever. So what's your news, Karen? What's your news? Karen said that she's moving to Seattle. I was like, oh, so that's where y'all moving to Seattle, Washington? Girl, what's over there? Anyway, so they were like, why? Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you moving? Like, what's going on? Why are you making this decision? Like, do you think that this is the best decision? And Karen's whole thing is like, look, everything that's been going on with me in my life, it's really been really bad. Like, her losing forever and all of this stuff. And she was going to elaborate some more, but then, of course, the scene switches over to Maurice and Paige. Paige is feeling some type of way because she looked jealous that her brother is now dating Maurice, and she kind of feels like Maurice is going to hurt her brother's feelings. in the relationship because her brother's last relationship didn't end well. And Maurice pretty much put it out there like, look, I like your brother. I got the best intentions for him. And pretty much everything is going to be cool. All right, so Fatima was walking back to the parking lot, in the parking garage, and she hears these footsteps. She turns around and she pulls her pistol, and it ends up being Gary. Gary says, look, I wasn't trying to run up on you. I was really coming up here to see Hayden. He's not there, and since I got you, I just want to apologize. Put the thing down. She was just like, well, I'm going to put it down, but it's going to stay locked and loaded on my side. And he was pretty much telling her he apologized and all of this other stuff. Yeah, pretty much apologizing. And that was pretty much it. All right, so Fatima hurry up and gets home, and she tells Zach, like, hey, Gary, she saw Gary in the parking garage. He kind of ran up on her, but it's nothing. She just said that he apologized to her about everything, and she put two and two together, and it looks like he's the one that sent you the money. And Zach is like, look, I don't trust Gary. I don't want no money from Gary. That money is dirty. And we need to go run up on Gary to see what he really out here trying to do. Because he out here moving shady, and we going to get to the bottom of it. So Fatima pregnant and all, and Zach going over there to run over there to go find Gary and to shake him down to understand what's really going on and why is he apologizing and really what's really shady behind everything that Gary is doing. All right. So Gary ends up at Hayden's house, and Hayden is like, Tamara ain't here. I left that girl. Why are you here? Gary said, can you give me 2 minutes? He comes into the house and he says he wants to apologize. And Hayden is pretty much like, I was your friend. Like, I thought that we were good together. You were being shady. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much I was down for you with everything you're going through. But then you're going to go behind my back. You're going to be engaged to... You're going to do a sham of a wedding to Andi, and you going to be sleeping with my girl behind my back. Like, you dirty for that. Like, you dirty. And Gary is still trying to apologize, and he wants to explain and all of this and all of that. So back over at the sister circle, the girls got questions. It's like, look, what is it? Why are you moving? Do your mama know? How does Faith feel? Does Aaron know? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing it? You know, just ask her all the questions. And then they just kind of go back in time. And she says a lot of the memories here, they were happy, but majority of them were sad. And she said Aaron and her are the ones that came up with them moving to Seattle. He is in agreement. And Danni ain't feeling it. Like, Danni is just like, why is this going on? You know what I'm saying? They just going back and forth. And then, let me see, do I got another clip of this? I think I may got one more clip, but I'm going to talk about it now just in case I don't. But Danni and Andi started getting into it, talking about you ain't had no D in a while, and talking about the men, they going back and forth. You slept with Andi, you got a hobo in your house. They just going back and forth, getting loud out in the restaurant. And Karen is like, hold on, wait. When did y'all two start having beef? Like, what is going on? Like, and then that's the thing. Y'all getting into it. We ain't really been having sister circles in a while. Like, everything has just been doom and gloom pretty much. And she just need a fresh start. Danni is like, shoot, we all have had problems. But it looks like Karen has had the most. They start doing these flashbacks of Karen, and she has some good memories. You know what I'm saying? With the shop, when it burned down, they got the new shop up and all that stuff. They just going down memory lane. But the gist of the conversation is Karen is leaving. So that's pretty much what it is. All right. So back over at Hayden's house, Gary, he over there still trying to apologize, and he ends up bringing up Tamaria. And so Hayden grabs him, pushes him into the wall, talking about, don't you ever speak her name again. I was like, oh, Lord, what is really going on here? So while he kind of got him jacked up, it's some knocks at the door, and we going to see who's going to be coming in the house later. So back over at the sister circle, they doing the whole rundown. Karen leaving. Stuff ain't right. The sister circle is broken. And it's just, she feels like this is the best thing for her. And she said something to the effect of, in her support group, one of the girls said, you can move away, but the problem gonna be there. You can stand still and still have a problem. I really didn't understand it, but I guess you can, I don't know. I don't know what it was. But at the end of the day, like I said, Karen is leaving and Andy's phone keep ringing. It keeps ringing. Danni like, why don't you just answer your phone? All that stuff. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Karen, she has to get up. She said she got to go figure out some stuff with the shop with Pam. And she has to get ready to go. And after she leaves, then Andy says she got to go. And then that ends up leaving the two. So back over at Hayden's place, Fatima and Zach, they come in. And they just looking at Gary like, yeah, Gary, you know what I'm saying? You trifling, you dirty. Hayden was calling him evil. But the thing about it was, Hayden started big upping Fatima and Zach, which was, I kind of thought was weird because he was saying, yeah, the three of us here, we can hide your body. Because they know how to hide bodies. He over there dry snitching. And they looking back at him like, would you shut up? Would you just shut up? But anyway, so they end up talking about the money. I'm not taking your dirty money. I'm not taking your dirty money. Gary reaches to get into his pocket to pull out the transfer for that money. And he pretty much says you can trace it back to the bank. And this is pretty much what it is. And I also said when Zach had originally got the money, I think it was like 2 episodes ago, I said Gary is the one that gave him the money because he leaving and he trying to make his rights wrong. And then Gary talks about, when all that stuff happened with his wife and all of that stuff that really changed him. And he apologized to Andi about everything. Everybody's so worried about how Gary treated Andi. But anyway, so he apologized about all of that. And, I guess they still don't believe him. They just trying to get to the bottom line of what's really going on. And Fatima also said, like, what's even going on with Penelope? Like, what happened with all of that? So Gary is trying to explain all of this. So now, like I said, then there were 2. So Sabrina and Danni, they're talking about Karen moving and all that stuff. And Danny's whole thing is the sister circle is broken because right now, the way that Andi is moving, she's moving foul. She can't trust her. She real good on Andi because Andi has a revolving door in her house. I can't trust her. She ain't telling us nothing, right? And so they end up talking about Tony, what's going on with him back at your house, and talking about her WAP ain't WAP. Her WAP is flop, And she was like, well, it ain't. My mental space ain't right, pretty much. She really pretty much sick of Tony. She's sick of him. And then they bring up Sabrina, like, Sabrina, where you get all this good advice from? Telling me I need, whatever this advice that Sabrina was giving Danni. And she said now that she's single, she can give out good advice. It's always the single people that can give out good advice. I guess because they got clarity now that their relationship is over. Whatever it is. But Danni said, at least you're not seeing my cousin no more. Sabrina lied and said that she wasn't seeing him, but she really is going to be seeing him. And yeah, that's going to be pretty much it. The sister circle is broken. Whatever they got going on in their personal lives. And they're going to have to figure it out. Anyway, excuse me. So, Andi at the Whole Foods store, and she's getting wine for her and Dr. Vaughn. So her and Dr. Vaughn, they talking on the phone. He said he'll be at her house in like an hour, right? So while she gets off the phone with him, Officer Green, he comes up, sees Andi outside, asks Andi is she single. She said yes, she is. And then he says, can he call her sometime? And he want to take her out on dates. And also to keep it a secret, keep it discreet, because he don't want pretty much everybody in their business. I said, you want her to keep it discreet because you're trying to holler at her friend too. You're trying to holler at Danni. So you finna be a playboy and holler at both of them. And now it's weird because now Danni and Andi at odds because she's saying you don't be honest and truthful. And now since Danni is good on Andi, they really not going to be talking. And when they do talk, they probably not going to bring up this officer guy. And when they find out, it's going to be a whole another issue. So anyway, that was pretty much it with this episode. I do hate that the sister circle is broken. But we kind of knew this was coming, right? Because even like I said earlier in the promos, Karen went in a lot of the promos. If she's leaving, she said she did said I'm leaving, so it looks like she's gonna leave. They did the flashbacks to make it seem like she's gonna leave. In the future episode, it looks like she's gonna try to sell the shop to Pam or either in Maurice, because right now Maurice is in beauty, so it would make sense that he would team up with Pam so they can move forward and buying the shop because he don't want to be in banking no more. So it's like all is set up. Tony ends up getting Danny's money. I don't know if he gambled the money or maybe he invested the money. Or maybe he gambled the money and tripled the money. We don't know. But yeah, do y'all really think Gary is leaving? He's trying to make his rights wrong. But it looks like they're gonna rotate Gary back into it some type of way. So I don't know. But y'all, this is Sheila Bila. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about this episode. I'll highlight y'all later. Bye.